Hello everyone and welcome to today's video on the new Ranger being featured in the 2024 Player's Handbook. My name is Braden and this is Airlist Quill 9 and we're going to take a look at what they've done to the Ranger and see if they've made any improvements to it. So let's start the video.
Today we are talking about a very big topic. We're talking about the Ranger, and we effectively have a brand new class with this Ranger.
Yeah, it is super exciting. The Ranger, more than any other class in the new Player's Handbook, is a new class. People got to see the evolution of the class through the Unearthed Arcana process, and now in the new Player's Handbook, you will get the brand new Ranger. And every facet of this class has been revisited, fine-tuned. The class has always been widely played, but in our satisfaction surveys over the years, the class has also been one of our lowest rated classes. And so the Ranger, along with the Monk, received major overhauls in the new Player's Handbook, with, again, the Ranger receiving such a major overhaul that, again, it's a brand new class.
Yeah.
Shall we dive in?
Yes, please.
Right away at first level, if you've played a Ranger over the past 10 years in 5th edition, you're going to see just how new it is, because everything at first level is new. So first off, you get your spellcasting now right away at first level. This is something we did in the Paladin as well in the new Player's Handbook. Spellcasting is a fundamental part of each of these classes' identities, and we no longer wanted these two classes to wait to get such a vital resource, partly because we also want people who are new to playing these classes to immediately get accustomed to integrating in the spell use that is a part of the hybrid nature of the Ranger and the Paladin.
Right.
These are the quintessential hybrid characters in D&D, going all the way back to 1st edition, that fuse weapon use with magic use. So spellcasting, it's at first level now for Rangers. Piggybacking on that, we also now have a brand new version of the Favored Enemy feature. And this feature now gives you the Hunter's Mark spell prepared all the time, and also gives you free castings of it a certain number of times per day. This is great because it means those castings will no longer compete with your spell casting as a Ranger if you want to do other things with your spells. Hunter's Mark is the way that you mark an enemy as your favored foe. It's going to make it so that you deal more damage to them. And if you're in a pursuit situation in your adventure, it means you're going to have an easier time of tracking them. Now, we'll come back to this spell as we journey upward through the levels in this class, because we're going to see that the new Ranger then has that spell improved at later levels. But we're going to stay here at first level for now, because also at first level, Rangers get weapon mastery.
Yeah.
Having spell casting with sort of favored enemy as the piggybacking on spellcasting, that's the magic side of the Ranger. Well, we also now have weapon mastery. And this means that Rangers, like all of our classes that are getting weapon mastery, will get to enjoy the brand new tactical options that the weapon mastery system provides. And because Rangers have a very broad weapon selection, that means I think we're going to see many different flavored Rangers just in terms of their weapon use. At level 2, Rangers get Fighting Style, which was a feature that the 2014 Ranger had, and then also a new feature called Deft Explorer. And there was a version of Deft Explorer as an option in Tasha's Cauldron of Everything. The version that's now here in the new Player's Handbook gives you expertise in a skill of your choice that you have proficiency in, and also lets you pick 2 more languages that you know. This feature is all about the skillfulness that Rangers traditionally have, particularly because of how much they roam. I mean, it's in the name. It's often easy to forget that what ranger is referring to is it is a person who ranges far and wide. And so seeing the world, particularly the natural world, but also the people who live in that world, is a really fundamental part of the ranger's identity. The other feature I mentioned at this level, fighting style, has been upgraded since its 2014 version because rangers are no longer limited to a sort of subsection of the fighting style options in the game. They, like paladins and fighters, can choose from the whole list of fighting style options that are now in the feat chapter of this book, and the number of options there is greater than the number of options in the 2014 Player's Handbook. Okay. Now, we also provided yet an additional choice in this fighting style feature. If you as a ranger player would rather your ranger lean more on the magic side of your class identity, you have the option of foregoing one of the fighting style feats, instead taking this option called Druidic Warrior, which is then going to give you some druid cantrips to add to your kit. Okay. And we wanted to make it easier for ranger players, as we've done in several of the other classes in the new Player's Handbook, to nudge the class in the direction they want to go with it when it comes to, especially in hybrid classes, how much do I want to lean in the weapon side of my identity, and how much do I want to lean on the spellcasting side. At third level, like all the other classes, you get your subclass. We'll come back to those after we've traveled through the whole class. The ranger still has extra attack. At level 6, the ranger gets a feature now called roving, because again, they travel far and wide. And because of this feature, rangers will now have a boost to their speed, a 10-foot boost to be precise, while they aren't wearing heavy armor. Okay. And on top of that, all rangers now at this level also gain a climb speed and a swim speed, because rangers are meant to be the people who are best equipped to explore pretty much any kind of environment. And that'll be good. We support that fantasy both with the class features that are present, but also through the spells. There'll be many familiar spells from the 2014 spell list, but people will also see there are some additions to that list, so it's a bit more robust. And now, whenever a ranger finishes a long rest, they can change one of the spells that they have prepared. This is a big change for rangers, because it used to be that they had their list of spells and they could only change one of them whenever they would level up. But now it's every day when they finish a long rest, they can change one. So that's back at first level in the spellcasting feature, but I bring it up now talking about just the ranger's exploration side, because we made this change in spellcasting to better support the utility side of the ranger's spell use. Because the ranger spell list has more utility than it does have outright damage. And so because of that utility focus, we wanted rangers to be able to at least, change one spell a day, depending on the situation that's ahead of them, at least that they're guessing is ahead of them in the coming adventuring day. As before, the subclass features keep coming, ability score improvement keeps coming. Up at 19th level, like all the classes in the new Player's Handbook, there's Epic Boon, but they also now get 2 more expertise options. So the ranger is going to be even more skilled, even more of an expert than they were in 2014. And at 10th level, they get a feature called Tireless. And with this feature, the ranger, a certain number of times per day, can give themselves temporary hit points, representing a resilience that they are drawing into themselves from nature itself. And they also have an always-on ability that whenever they finish a short rest, if they have any exhaustion levels, the number of exhaustion levels they have reduces by 1. Most people have to take a long rest to have their exhaustion go down by 1, but rangers, who again are meant to be the ones who are best equipped to roam across vast distances, their exhaustion goes away faster than most other characters. At level 13, here's where their Hunter's Mark spell starts to improve. So they always have that spell prepared, and they get a number of free castings of it per day. Starting at level 13, damage can no longer break their concentration on the spell. Still have to concentrate on it. This is important so that the spell can't stack with other things that also require concentration. Then at level 14, you get Nature's Veil, where as a bonus action, you can, again, drawing on the primal magic that you draw on as a ranger, just poof, become invisible. It's sort of a supernatural camouflage. The 2014 ranger had the ability at higher level to easily camouflage themselves, but it required them to loop through hiding, through specifically the hide action. Now, it's far more supernatural where just they're gone.
Yeah.
And they are invisible. So it's going to be easier to use and be more effective as the ranger creeps around, perhaps stalking one of their foes. We also have at level 17 another upgrade to Hunter's Mark, where now the ranger always has advantage on attack rolls against whoever is currently marked by their Hunter's Mark.
Nice.
That's really nice.
Level 18, they get blind sight out to 30 feet.
Okay.
As they become almost like a creature of the wilds, being able to, even if they're blinded, see or effectively see around them. And then at 20th level, the damage of their Hunter's Mark increases. So it is now a D10 rather than a D6.
Okay.
All of this together, when you combine the new features, the enhanced spell list, the ability to use more of your spells as a ranger, means you will be the paramount explorer and sort of survivalist in the wilds, supporting your party with your various abilities, but also being a badass on your own.
Perfect. That's amazing. Those are huge changes.
Again, it's a new class.
Yeah.
It is top to bottom rebuilt, and so much of that done in conversation with the community through Unearthed Arcana.
And heavily focus on that fantasy that you have. If you are wanting to play a ranger, you're dealing that damage. You are wandering. You are the best at so many things that you should be the best at. And you also can have expertise in the things that you should.
And many of these benefits also are very concrete. One of our misses in the 2014 Ranger is we had some really nice, flavorful abilities having to do with different environments or different types of creatures that didn't really deliver a reliable, concrete game experience. And everything that we've done here has been about delivering the fantasy of the Ranger and doing it in a very direct, fun way so that you get your feature and you get to be rangery.
Yeah.
Then we took that philosophy and carried it into the subclasses. We have the Hunter and the Beastmaster both returning from the 2014 Player's Handbook, but both of them redesigned.
Yeah.
And then they are joined by the Gloom Stalker and the Fey Wanderer.
Okay. So, it sounds like they made a lot of changes and improvements to the base Ranger class. So, spellcasting is now at first level. Like you can use a Druidic Focus. They can prepare more spells now than they could before. They can also switch out one prepared spell per day. This is like a hybrid of prepared spells and known spells, in my opinion. See one of my other videos about something that I realized when looking at that. Favorite enemy is at first level. This has been changed to where we always have Hunter's Mark prepared, which is nice. And then we can cast it twice per long rest. without expending a spell slot, and the number increases as you level up. This is pretty nice. The only detriment to the Hunter's Mark spell is that I'm positive that it's still going to be a concentration spell. So this is going to be eating up your concentration at all points in time, which kind of sucks, but it is now like a main identity of the Ranger, so this will be something that you're going to use a lot and often. Weapon mastery, no surprises there. You choose 2 weapons, you can swap them out more than long rest. Natural Explorer is completely removed, no surprise there. Deft Explorer was seen in Tasha's Cauldron of Everything, however, it's now been broken into 3 different features, which is this one, and Roving and Tireless. With Deft Explorer, we gain an expertise in 1 skill and learn 2 languages, which is nice. Fighting style, we get a 2nd level. We can now choose a fighting style, and it's any of the fighting styles in the feat section. And then alternatively, we can take Druidic Warrior, which gives us 2 cantrips from the Druid spell list. So, variety there. I won't look into Ranger subclasses yet, but they're at 3rd level. They start at 3rd level. Primeval Awareness seems to have been completely removed. Roving at 6th level, we gain 10 foot of speed as long as we're not wearing a heavy armor, as they said in the video. And we also have a climbing speed and a swimming speed as well from that feature. Lane Stride is gone. Expertise is going to be at 9th level. So we're going to gain expertise in 2 additional skills of our choice. Tireless comes at 10th level. You can use an action to gain temporary hit points. And Tasha's Cauldron, this was 1d8 plus 0 wisdom modifier. I wonder if they've changed it at all. I think they talk about down here. You have a number of uses equal to your wisdom modifier. Yeah. And not your proficiency bonus like it was. At 10th level, Hide in Plain Sight is gone. This was replaced by Tireless. Relentless Hunter at 13th level states that damage can't break our concentration on Hunter's Mark, which is nice. It is at a later level though, so we'll see how many people actually get to that point, but it's nice that that's an option later on. You can only lose concentration on Hunter's Mark if you become incapacitated or you die. Cool. Nature's Veil replaces Vanish at 14th level. You can turn invisible as a bonus action, and it lasts till the end of your next turn, granting you advantage on any attack rolls that you make during that time, which is nice. And it looks like it scales with Wisdom modifier instead of proficiency bonus, so it makes sense. 17th level, this is one of the features they're talking about. Now, whenever you attack a creature marked by Hunter's Mark, you have advantage on attacks against them. This is really nice. It also says by this level you have 6 free casting of Hunter's Mark. So I wonder if Hunter's Mark, or the amount of uses you're going to have it with Hunter's Mark, is going to scale at the same pace as your proficiency bonus, even though it's not tied to the 19th level. We get our Epic Boon. Here's a sneak peek at one that's going to be offered. Boon of Dimensional Travel. Increase 1 ability score by 1 up to a maximum of 30. And immediately after you take the attack or magic action, you can teleport up to 30 feet. Nice! Let's see here. And then at 20th level, the capstone ability of the Ranger is going to be this feature called Foe Slayer. Hunter's Mark is going to deal 1d10 force damage on a hit instead of 1d6. The damage boost is nice, but it feels a little lacking for a capstone feature. That's only one thing. so it's not a whole lot. But when you consider getting free castings of it and then having advantage on marked targets, I guess it's fine. However, I feel like there could have been some other things tacked onto this that would have made it just a little bit better. But as it is, it's okay. This is a lot better base class than we had previously. And based on what I read here, Hunter's Mark sounds like it does force damage now. It doesn't say so in this feature, but it's kind of what it sounds like. Unless this changes the damage type as well, which I doubt. Okay, well that's everything to the base class, so let's get on to the subclasses now.
How about we talk about the Beastmaster first?
Yeah, let's talk about the Beastmaster, because not only has this class been rebuilt, this is effectively a new subclass as well.
Yeah, so the Beastmaster subclass, it shares the name with the 2014 version and the theme of the ranger who has this supernatural bond with a beast, but otherwise beyond the name and the theme,
It's completely new.
it is a brand new subclass. And people got to see an earlier version of this new subclass in Tasha's Cauldron of Everything, specifically in the new creature options, because in Tasha's Cauldron of Everything, we introduced this idea of these sort of primal beasts that the ranger can bond with, the beast of the land, the beast of the sky, and the beast of the sea. But now you get to see that piece that originally appeared in Tasha's, now integrated in with the whole subclass and the whole subclass redone around that. And so now you have a subclass where you and your primal beast are this united unit.
Yeah.
You have this mystical connection with each other. You're now, as a ranger, going to be able to command your beast as a bonus action instead of an action, which means that you will feel much more than you did in the 2014 version, like you and your beast companion are working in tandem with each other. We've made it so that also this beast that you choose, because rather than it being a stat block you go fish out of the monster manual, is one of these 3 stat blocks specifically designed for this subclass. We could make each of these stat blocks sort of level up with you, and each one have its own shtick, whether it's, again, land-related, sky-related, or sea-related.
And as you said, these level up. They gain power over time.
Yes, because they are a fundamental part of your power as a Beastmaster Ranger. And so we wanted to ensure from the inside, by designing these creatures specifically for this subclass, ensure that they are delivering the effectiveness they need to be delivering for you over the course of your career as a Beastmaster. All of it together means I think this is going to be a thrilling subclass, not only for people who have already played a Beastmaster, but also people who've not yet tried it out and had the fun of almost having 2 characters, because the Beastmaster is one of the few subclasses in the game where it's really about not only playing your ranger, it's also about playing your ranger's beast friend. And that friend can almost take on a role of being like a member of the party. The Beast Companion just keeps getting better with you. What you can do with it in terms of your commands improves, and it culminates with you even being able to share spells with your companion, so that when you cast a spell targeting yourself, you can also have your Beast Companion benefit as well. And
that's nice.
all of the improvements inside the subclass mean that you just over time become more and more of this amazing sort of two beings in total sync with each other, working as an exploration and fighting unit.
Oh, that's fascinating. So if I cast a healing spell, that spell may also affect my beast
Yes,
companion
as long
at the
as-
same time.
As long as it's within 30 feet of you, yeah, you could cast Cure Wounds on yourself, and your beast 30 feet away is then also healed.
Oh, that's amazing.
And also, just again, driving home how you are this unified unit, you also get to the point where your hunter's mark starts benefiting your beast.
Oh, that's strong.
Yes.
when the beast is enjoying Hunter's Mark, that becomes dangerous. So this brings us to Fey Wanderer, Ranger.
Okay, so that is, those are the changes to Beastmaster. Let's see what they say here. Okay, so the changes are going to be similar to those seen in Tasha's Cauldron of Everything, except your Primal Companion's AC and damage now scales off your Wisdom modifier instead of your Proficiency bonus. Okay, see where they're going with this. Exceptional Training and Bestial Fury have also some small upgrades. Let's see if there's anything more here. Exceptional Training can be activated on turns where you use your bonus action to command your companion instead of on turns where the companion did not attack. I'm curious. I don't really remember much about... Okay, on your turns... Okay. So you can do this even on the turns you command your beast. That's just your help. And the feature now lets you companion take the dodge action as a bonus action. Okay. Okay, so this just lets the bestial companion do more things. So I wonder if they can now do these as bonus actions on their turns. This part is not going to be here because I imagine the attacks will deal force damage. Just the base magical damage. Bestial Fury, have they talked about? Bestial Fury shares some of the benefits of Hunter's Mark with your Primal Companion turn. Okay. I wonder if it will be this, and they can also gain the extra damage from Hunter's Mark. And then shared spell sounds the same. Okay, so minor improvements. The scaling will be just a little bit better and more beneficial at early levels. And changes to exceptional training will at least give companion a little bit more to do on its turn. And this will be a nice damage boost as well. So those are all nice. Okay, so let's hear what they say about the Fey Wanderer.
This came out of Tasha's. This was a really, really super fun one because eventually in your roaming, you might have gotten some background radiation from the Feywild, or been under its influence, or maybe that's where you in fact come from.
Yeah, the Fey Wanderer is, along with the Gloom Stalker, these two have wandered into the player's handbook to bring the sort of mirror world feeling of the Shadowfell and the Feywild, because those are the planes of existence that we've associated these two subclasses with. And so if you think of the Beastmaster and the Hunter being associated with the material plane, the Fey Wanderer is associated with the Feywild, and the Gloom Stalker with the Shadowfell. And so those two subclasses, the Fey Ranger and the shadowy one, they are, in many ways, the more magical rangers of the 4 provided in this book.
Perfect.
Then the hunter being the least magical of the 4. Now, the Fey Wanderer, it's going to be a fun friend to revisit for anyone who played the Fey Wanderer from Tasha's Cauldron. And what you're going to see here is the features that you loved in the class, but now integrated into the new ranger, benefiting from the new spells that are here. And in a way, the Fey Wanderer wandered into this book along with some of the spells in Tasha's Cauldron, including Summon Fey, which was something it had in Tasha's Cauldron, and thankfully, because Summon Fey is now in the Player's Handbook, the Fey Wanderer in the Player's Handbook can continue to enjoy the ability at higher level of summoning a Fey creature to fight beside the Fey Wanderer. Before you get there, you not only have extra spells that you have always prepared, you can also deal extra psychic damage with some of your strikes as you channel the magic of the Feywild. You also can beguile people with your otherworldly glamour, and ultimately, because we can never resist when it's a Fey-themed subclass, we end up giving you Misty Step so that you can teleport. And we also, along the way, we help guard your mind against being charmed or frightened. So the whole package means if you choose this subclass, will be drenched through and through with Fey magic and be a wonderful companion to, and here I'll do it, I'll refer to the Warlock, a wonderful companion to a Warlock who has the Archfey patron.
Yeah.
And the two of you can teleport around to your heart's content.
Perfection.
Yes. It'll be Fey chef's kiss.
Yeah.
The sparkly trickster feeling of the Fey Wanderer is in stark contrast to the Gloom Stalker, who instead is not only channeling the magic of the Shadowfell, but also just the shadows of the deep places of the earth, because you can also think of this being a ranger associated with the Underdark. And this subclass originally appeared in Xanathar's Guide to Everything.
Yeah, and I've always loved this. Just the core concept of, if you rely on your dark vision, you're invisible to them.
Yes.
Terrifying. You're the thing that the knight is afraid of. It's such a wonderful theme for a subclass. It's just chilling.
Well, and we've made it so that as you are hunting those creatures of the darkness, you're going to be even better at it.
Yeah.
One of the things we did right away in the subclass, in your level 3 Dread Ambusher feature, is we made it so that your extra damage is no longer locked to the first round of combat.
Yeah.
We wanted you to be able to enjoy being a Gloom Stalker throughout a battle, if you so.
Oh, I must start talking about Gloom Stalker. Okay, so Fey Wanderer, mostly unchanged. It's pretty much the exact same subclass. Looks like the only change, they almost entirely unchanged. But at level 9, you get the Summon Fey spell prepared instead of Dispel Magic, because Dispel Magic is now on the Ranger spell list. So that's nice. And now they're talking about Gloom Stalker, which I imagine has a couple changes.
So choose, and not essentially, well, I was a Gloom Stalker on round 1, and then for the rest of the time I was a generic ranger. But now we've made it so that you will be able to use your Dreadful Strike, also psychic damage, because I introduced the Gloom Stalker as, in a way, the foil to the Fey Wanderer.
Yeah.
And just as the Feywild and the Shadowfell are almost sort of opposites of each other, but they often both have to do with the mind and the emotions.
Yeah.
it's interesting that both of these subclasses, their extra damage is psychic damage.
And the Gloom Stalker does a significant amount of psychic damage every turn.
But a limited number of times per day.
Yes.
It's not endless.
But it's bursty. It's a good amount of damage. It's healthy.
They like their Fey sibling. Also have a list of spells that they always have prepared. They have their umbral sight, which gives them dark vision or improves their dark vision if they already have it. As you mentioned, other creatures that rely on dark vision to see in the dark can't see the Gloom Stalker in the dark.
Yeah.
Again, terrifying.
Okay. They're great at initiative.
Yes, they are. They are like their friends, the assassin and the barbarian are going to be more likely to go earlier in the battle than others.
The whole concept of this is the ambusher, this is the hunter in the night, this is in the spell list reflects all that as well. I mean, it's unusual to see like the ranger with disguised self, for example. You are very much one with the shadows and illusion.
They also, like their sibling, the Fey Wanderer, they end up having various mental defenses, and then also they're going to start being even more terrifying at level 11 with their Stalker's Flurry, because their psychic damage goes up. And so that,
even more.
Yeah, so that bursty damage bursts even more. And also they can start exuding mass fear to
all around them.
all around them. And they also can teleport once you get up to level 15, teleport out of harm's way when they are attacked. So all of this combined means they are really terrifying, resilient hunters in the night.
And there's so many different ways to flavor this one in particular too, because this could be the Van Helsing who is hunting vampires, or this can be a ranger who solely lives in cities or in the Underdark. There's so many ways to theme it. Yeah. I love this ranger.
It is, in many ways, the Gloom Stalker is the sort of gothic ranger.
Yeah. Perfect. I like gothy things.
You?
No. Okay, now that brings us to the hunter ranger.
Okay. So we have quite a bit of changes. The Gloom Stalker, so they don't get any of that. You don't have that extra attack on the first round, which kind of sucks, but they do get to deal extra damage a number of times each day, which I guess is okay. And it sounds like it's going to be psychic damage. Stalker's Flurry changes the circumstances for the additional attack from that feature. Which when you miss an attack, you can make an additional one. So that's circumstances of that are going to be different. It also adds the option to frighten nearby foes, which is cool. And since Shadowy Dodge also gets an upgrade. Whenever a creature makes an attack roll against you, advantage reaction. I wonder if it's no longer a reaction. That'd be crazy for them to do, right? So Gloom Stalker saw some moderate tweaks. Instead of an extra attack on the first round that deals additional damage, the Gloom Stalker's Dread Ambusher now allows them to add extra damage to a hit a few times per day. Now, I think people are going to be upset about this. However, the fact that you can now do it multiple times a day, I imagine it's going to scale with your Wisdom modifier. This should end up dealing more damage in a specific combat than Dread Ambusher originally did. So I think it might level itself out. However, there may be a drop-off at later levels. Stalker's Fury at level 11 was also tweaked slightly to build off of this change, increasing the damage of Dread Ambusher. Okay, so that's nice. And it allows you to apply an additional effect when you use it. You can make an extra attack on a nearby enemy or frighten your target and creatures within 10 feet of it. Okay, so you get an option. You get an option of what to do at 11th level. So when you deal the extra damage of Drant Ambusher, you can then choose on your turn to make an extra attack on a nearby enemy, or you can frighten the target and creatures within 10 feet of it. That's interesting. That's kind of a buff to Stalker's Flurry in an unexpected way. Oh, and it said there was an upgrade to Shadowy Dodge, but it didn't tell us what that is. Okay, cool. Okay, now let's see what they did to Hunter, and then I can give my final thoughts on the class itself.
This is the low magic ranger.
This is, in many ways, sort of the subclass that is the baseline.
Yeah.
And what we've done is we took the version of the Hunter that was in 2014, took the best elements of it, and sort of remixed the whole subclass. So it too, like the Beastmaster, is really close to just being a brand new subclass.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Part of that is you get a brand new feature at level 3 called Hunter's Lore. And this allows you that while a creature is marked by your Hunter's Mark, to know whether that creature has any immunities, resistances, or vulnerabilities. And if that creature does, you know what they are.
Oh, perfect.
So you now are really good at hunting because you know, we shouldn't use fire on this particular creature, or we should use radiance on this creature. So this right away was a fun feature for us to create to help the hunter just be a better hunter. Then you get to the Hunter's Prey feature, and here you have a choice, just as the Hunter used to have a choice in this feature. But the choices, we basically whittled, in each of the choice points in the subclass, we whittled the choices down to the best ones. In the 2014 version, at each of the choice points, there was always basically a suboptimal choice. And so what we've done is we've narrowed it to the best choices so that whatever you choose, it's a solid choice. And then we went one step beyond that. We've now made it so that you can change your choice whenever you finish a short or long rest. This makes these features far more tactically useful because then you can sort of steer your effectiveness toward what you think you face in the day or the hours ahead. We do this shtick again at level 7 in defensive tactics. You have a choice, and then you can revisit your choice whenever you finish a short or long rest. And you'll see familiar friends here in the features and Escape the Horde and multi-attack defense. At level 11, the Hunter now also lets you, when you have Hunter's Mark on a creature, and you deal damage to them, you can also deal that spell's extra damage to a different creature within 30 feet of the first creature.
Yeah, that's amazing.
It's essentially your Hunter's Mark starts splashing damage on other people. We did this because the Hunter has always had this, when you looked at the choices that the subclass offered, it has always had this element of, I'm going to deal more damage to this single target, or I'm going to be really effective at fighting an entire group.
Yeah.
We continue to have those themes inside the subclass.
Yeah, Hordebreaker is fantastic. I just love that.
But now with Superior Hunter's Prey, this new feature speaks to both themes because you can now deal a lot of damage to one target and throw some damage on somebody else.
Perfect.
And then at level 15, you can take a reaction to give yourself resistance to damage when you take damage, and then that resistance lasts until the end of your current turn. So this is just a chance for you to sort of grit your teeth through the damage that you're taking to enhance your survivability.
Yeah.
Because we want the hunter to, whether the hunter is leaning more in a ranged attack direction or in a melee direction, to have really high resilience as they embark on their hunts.
This is a good ranger for the zombie apocalypse.
Well,
You're just mowing through hordes.
the nice thing about the hunter ranger, especially in the new player's handbook, is it's the ranger who's good in any situation.
Yeah.
Precisely because you can change your kit.
Yeah.
And so this is the, to use an old TV reference, this is sort of the MacGyver ranger.
Yeah.
Who, it's like, they've got the tool for the job. Just give them a minute or an hour in the case of the short rest.
Thank you for these massive changes to the ranger. People are really going to appreciate all the newness in here and like that wish fulfillment that people have wanted with the ranger.
I can't wait for people to play it.
The new player's handbook is available for pre-order right now on D&D.
Okay, so a bunch of improvements to the Hunter Ranger, as we can see. So Hunter has become more streamlined, with Hunter's Prey and defensive tactics granting it you 2 options instead of 3. That's okay. However, you do get to choose which of those 2 options you want whenever you take a short or long rest, which is very nice. Makes you very adaptable to the situation that you're facing. And then at 3rd level, we get a new feature called Hunter's Lore, which tells us the immunities, resistances, and vulnerabilities of creatures marked by Hunter's Mark, which is also going to be very nice, so you know exactly how to kill the thing that you Hunter's Mark. Overall, I like a lot of the changes to the Ranger. It's a lot better than the 2014 version, that is for sure. I think these spell things are kind of weird. I do appreciate that they've boosted the subclasses somewhat. Gloom Stalker may be a tiny bit of a downgrade, but we'll have to see when it comes out. It really just depends on how many times you can do this extra damage. I imagine it's gonna scale. Fey Wanderer is always pretty good. Beastmaster seems like it's in a better place. However, I'm really interested to see if it keeps up with the other subclasses. I feel like Bestial Fury might be the clutch feature for it, but we'll have to see. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, the share spells feature could be really good if you cast buffs on yourself that increase the damage that you deal. Your beast companion would also benefit off of this. And we do know there are going to be a lot more spell options, which they will get to on Monday. So I will do a video on that as soon as that comes out. And then the week after, they're going to be doing the rest of the classes and get all those out of the way. And then they're going to talk a little bit about dragons on Friday, which I am interested in. So as soon as we finish all of those, I don't know what other content Watsy's going to give me to go over. I will do a video going over some of the epic boons that they've teased with these articles on D&D Beyond, just so I can clump them all together and review all of them for everyone to look at. And other than that, I think we are going to get a pretty decent Ranger. I think it's going to be able to keep up with a bunch of classes. This kind of feels on par with how they've rebalanced the Paladin, in my opinion. And I'm unsure about this change. This doesn't seem like enough, in my opinion, but with the other features that you'll get, Relentless Hunter and Precise Hunter, this will make Hunter's Mark better. So it remains to be seen how this does. And we also don't know if Hunter's Mark received any upgrades. Last time it was in the Unearthed Arcana. There, I think Hunter's Mark scaled. If I can find it in here real quick. Hunter's Mark. Yeah, they did make the damage scale at higher levels. So, it may be that this does become better. And this will scale. Yep, here, force damage. I totally see that they are going to change that. But I think overall these changes are good. I think the Ranger will be a very decent option. Going to have a lot of versatility. Going to be able to do a lot of different things. Your subclass is going to affect to the way that you play your Ranger, and you're going to be able to do a decent bit of work. I think this will be on par with the updated Paladin. Probably on par with the Fighter and Barbarian as well. I think Martial is in just altogether are in a much better place than they were. They've been significantly increased, and I think we're gonna get a lot more people playing martial classes in this updated edition of D&D later on. But those are my thoughts on the Ranger. If you enjoyed the video, I hope you did. Please feel free to like and subscribe if you want more content. I'll have 2 new videos next week, and then I'll have at least 5 new videos the week after that. And then I will definitely do something about the epic boons that they've teased. But that's going to be all for this video. So I will catch all of you later. Have a great rest of your day. Bye.